Hello everybody, it's Juliet here. Today we're going to be making this really pretty blue and green earring, which I just love the colors in this. The cushion cut crystal is 12 millimeter and it's called Colorshift Blue, I believe. This is out of the Potomac Beads June treasure box. So if you have the treasure box, you should have had 2 of these. And if not, I will put a link down below where you can get them, but they are just so beautiful. I love how they have shades of green, shades of turquoise, shades of this deep blue here. So I tried to pull that into the earring. So most of the materials here also came out of the June treasure box. So these pressed rondelles are picking up that blue color there. So I'm using those. And then I have the Jade colored 4 millimeter Czech faceted rounds. I have 2 millimeter Bicones, and these are the emerald color. Those were also in your box. And I'm using the 8Os that we got, which are number Miyuki number 263. I also have some Miyuki 11Os out of my stash, number 263. These did not come in the box, so they're the same color as the 8Os that did come in the box. I happened to have some in my stash, but you can probably order those. Again, I'll put a link down below for that. And we also got a little pair of earrings, Leverback earring wires with a little shell on them, and I'll put a link to those if I can find it as well on the Miyuki on the Potomac Beads website. Sorry. And then I'm also using, we got the DragonThread, so I'm using the gray size 6 DragonThread. And the nice thing about this is you can use it for fringe because it's quite a soft drape. It's not as strong as it's not strong. It is as strong. It's not as sturdy, I guess. Stiff. It's not as stiff. That's the word I'm looking for, as Fireline. So you can use it for fringe as well, which is nice. So the earring is a little bit 3-dimensional, which I kind of like actually on this. I feel like it kind of gives it a nice shape, a kind of round shape to it, and it's quite small. It's not actually that long, so it's lightweight, it's not heavy, and it's nice and petite. And I love how I put the little drops just to pull in the color. I really love how these pressed the pressed rondelles, these kind of oblong beads, they actually make a really great backing here. And we've had a few of these in boxes before, so I'm excited to try this in some other colors as well. So you can see one peeking up there at the back, you know, so they just stick out a little bit. And they also are, even though the back isn't covered, they're protecting the back. Like, you're not going to be scratching in there because these beads kind of cover over quite a lot of the back. So you can see on the profile, like, it's not going to hit, you know, if you throw it down on your vanity or whatever, it's not going to hit anything. So it's kind of protecting the back of the crystal as well. Okay, so go ahead and get yourself maybe about 4 feet of thread, maybe 3.5 on your needle. And you also did get a pack of needles in your box, so you should have a needle as well. And I'll just get threaded up and we'll get started. Okay, and I do apologize if my voice is still a little croaky. I was sick last week and I am still recovering, so hopefully I'm not going to cough during this video, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so to begin, we're going to pick up one of our 4 millimeter Czech rounds, followed by one of our pressed rondelles, okay? And we're going to do that 4 times. So pick up 4 in a row. So once you have 4 on your needle, go ahead, push down, leaving your standard sort of 4-inch tail to weave in at the end, okay? And then you're just going to go through the first of those check rounds again, okay? To form a circle, and it's going to form a circle like this, okay? And these will lay flat if you just kind of relax. Okay, so now you're going to pick up one of your 8 O's and another of the rounds and another 8O. So 8O check round, 8O. You're going to pass, I'm coming out this side. Okay, so I'm going to enter into the opposite side from where I'm coming out. I'm coming out here, so I'm going in the other side, and it's just going to form a little loop like this, okay? So that check round is just going to sit right there next to the other one, and then I'm going to move forward through the pressed rondelle, okay? And then again, I'm going to move forward through the next check round. And I'm going to repeat this all the way around. So again, I'm going to pick up an 8O, a check round, and an 8O. And again, I'm coming out here, going to enter again into the round that I'm exiting from. And I'm going to go again through the next rondelle and through the next check round, okay? And again, I'm going to pick up an 8O, a check faceted round, if I can find the hole on them. Okay, and an 8O again, and go through the same one that you're exiting from, and then move forward through the next rondelle and the check faceted round. So I'm at my last one, so I'm just going to pick up my 8O, check round, 8O, and and I'm just going to enter in again. So I'm coming out here, I'm just going to enter into the other side of that one to form the final little loop here. And just make sure that your loops are forming nicely, okay? So we should have something that looks like this, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and pass through that last rondelle again. And if you want to here, you can go ahead and tie a knot with your tail just to keep everything a little bit tighter, okay? All right. So we've just moved, we just came out from this rondelle. So I'm going to move forward now. I'm going to go through the next round, which is the one on the center ring, okay? Through the check faceted round. Oops, sorry. I'm going to move up through that 8O that's there. And I'm going to move into the check faceted round that is up above. Okay, so now we've kind of changed direction here that we're working, okay? And I'm going to pick up 2 of my bicones. So these are the 2mm bicones. And I'm going to enter in, I'm coming out here, I'm going to follow my thread and I'm going to enter into the next sticking out check round, okay? And this is going to want to pull in like this. And at this point, it's a good idea to lay your your crystal in. And what you want to do is line it up so that the sides are where your Czech rounds are, and the corners are where your little rondelles are sticking out, okay? And you can just hold that in place, but this will just help with your tension, just holding it in place here, okay? So again, I'm picking up 2 of my 2 millimeters, and I'm going to drop that for right now. And again, I'm just going to jump into the very next outer Czech round, okay? So you can see we're kind of building a little nest here, okay? Again, 2 of your bicones, and go into the next outer Czech round. Make sure that's all sitting on the top. Okay, and now I'm going to actually put my crystal in. And remember, you do want it to be sitting so that the sides are where the Czech rounds are, and you kind of want these little crystals to sit on top of the corners, okay? And it can be a little bit tricky to get it set in at first, but just be patient and you'll get it. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up my last 2 crystals, and I'm going to go through that very last Czech round just to close that up. And you should find that your crystal will stay in, kind of, okay? You still have to be a little bit careful at this point, but it should kind of stay in. But you'll see that there are big gaps here, and we're going to have to reinforce, okay? So let me just make sure that that is. Just massage your beads until they're kind of around it, and then you're going to go all the way around again, and pulling in order to really tighten as you go around that crystal, okay? So just pull, 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 and always pull with the direction of the thread, because we have these bicones. If you pull backwards, you could end up cutting your thread by accident, so make sure you're pulling in the direction that the thread is moving, okay? Okay, did you see how it had a really big gap there, but I can just pull that closed. So it's the key to this is just going around and making sure that you're reinforcing well, okay? Now you may need to go around a second time, and if there's a little bit of a gap here or there, that's okay. Don't worry too much about that at this point, but just go around until you feel like it's pretty secure, okay? So for me, I feel like that is pretty secure, and you'll find that the little points on your little rondelles will stick out by themselves, so you won't have to do anything to get them to stick out. They will naturally want to stick out, okay? So once you have got to a point where you feel like it's pretty secure, exit from 2 of your bicones, and you're going to pick up 3 11-0s. And if you don't have this color, you could use another color. You could use silver or something, you know, or a blue or whatever you have. But I think it's nice to use the one that matches. But yeah, you can get a little creative with your colors. Okay, so you're picking up 3 11-0s, and you're just going to skip over the Czech round, and you're going to go through the next 2 bicones. And what you want is you want these 3 beads to sit on the inside of that check round like this, okay? And that's just gonna help make sure that our stone does not pop out. And it gives a little extra decoration. Okay, so pick up 3 more. Again, skip over the check round and go through the next 2 bicones. Pick up 3 11-0s. Go through the next 2 bicones. And if you're really pulling, these will probably want to move on to the inside anyway. And 3 more. And into the next 2 bicones. All right. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to put our earring hanger on, okay? So I'm coming out from a set of bicones here. I am going to enter into the next rondelle. And then I'm going to move backwards through the 8-0 that is on the top. And once I am exiting from that 8-0, I am going to pick up 3 11-0s, and then, so this is the front here, and you want this point is going to be the top of the earring, okay? So wherever your little rounded, flattened rondelle is, that's the top. So I'm technically going this way. So I need to make sure that I put my earring on so that the front of it is facing the front. Okay, so go ahead and sew through your earring finding, and you may need to close your gap. Just check that the gap is closed before you do this with your pliers, okay? Then I'm going to pick up 3 more. And on the other side of this rondelle, so I'm coming backwards out of this 8-0, I'm going to go forward into this 8-0. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up 1 11-0, and I'm going to skip this first 11-0, and I'm going to go through the second and the third and through my earring finding. So I'm just going back the other way. And then I'm going to go down the next 2 on the other side. And I'm going to pick up an 11-0. And here, so originally this was coming out the back, so I'm going to enter into the front of that 8-0 with that 1. And then what you're going to get is a little shape like this. So you're going to have 2, and then you'll have 2 here, and then you'll have your 8-0 on each side. Okay, and now I'm going to reinforce that. So right now I'm coming out towards the back of my earring, so I'm just going to go up that back 11-0 on this side. I'm going to go over the 4 that go through the earring finding, and then I'm going to go down the back 1 on this side. Then I'm going to move forward through the 8-0 to the front. Then I go up the front 11-0. I go back over all of the 4 and through my earring finding. And when I get to this side, I'm going down the front 11-0, and then I'm going through that 8-0 that we started in towards the back of the earring. Okay, so now our earring hook is nice and secure on there, and we can still see our little blue bead through that little triangle. Okay, All right, so now I'm going to move forward so we have these 4 blue beads on the side here, and I'm coming out of the 8/0 right up at the top here. I'm going to move through the back because my thread is here, so I'm going to enter into the back Czech rondelle, and then I'm going to move into that flattened rondelle, pressed rondelle. Okay, that's actually where my tail is, but that's okay. And here, so I'm coming out facing downwards towards the bottom of my earring. I'm coming out at the bottom, right? Okay, of the side here. So we're going to add a little fringe. So we're going to pick up 6 of our 11/0s, a bicone, and then 1 of our pressed beads, and then 1 11/0 at the bottom. Okay, so 6 11/0s. And then 1 of our 2mm bicones, and then 1 of our pressed beads, and then 1 more 11/0. You're going to push it all down, and then skipping that bottom 11/0, you're going to sew all the way back up through all of those beads, including the blue pressed bead that you started in. Okay, so all the way through all of those beads. So now we have our first little dangle, okay? So we have to get down to the bottom here. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to move sideways through our 8/0 here. Then we're going to move forward through our 2mm bicones. And then we're going to move forward sideways through the next 8/0. Okay, because we want to get back over to the back. Then we're going to go through, so I'm trying to get down to here, which is this one down here. So we're going to go through the Czech bead on the back near where our fringe was, and through the one at the very, very bottom, the pressed. Okay, so that's at the very, very bottom here, like this, okay? Okay, so we're going to pick up 3 plus 6, so 9. So on this bottom one here, I'll just show you before we begin, we have 3 and then 6 in our bicone. And then we'll go back up, and then we have to add 3 to get into the other side because this bead is kind of bigger than, you know, we have to be able to get on each side of the bead. So go ahead, pick up your 3, 1, 2, 3, and that'll take us down to here, and then we're going to pick up our 6. That bead's a little funky. Okay, so we've got 3 plus 6. And then we're going to pick up again our bicone and our little pressed rondelle, and then our 11/0 at the bottom. Skip the 11/0, and you're going to go up. But remember, you're only going up 6 of your seed beads, and you're going to leave 3 of your seed beads, okay? So you're going up 6 of those. And if it gets a little far away, it's okay. You can just pull on that very bottom bead and it'll tighten up, okay? So we have 3 here and then 6. And then I'm going to pick up 3 more. And I'm just going to enter into the other side of the blue bead here. So just go right on through. There we go. So that is our middle dangle, okay? And you can kind of, if they're sitting a little funky, you can give them a little tug and it'll they should sort them out, okay? So now we need to get so that we're coming out facing downwards from this blue bead. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to move forward through our Czech faceted round here, and we're going to then progress forward through the 8-0 on the side, through our 2 bicones on the front, through the other 8-0 towards the back, and then we can just go straight down through that blue bead, and we are now ready to add the fringe on the other side, which is the same as the first one. So again, it's just 6 of our 11-0s. Okay, so 6 11-0s, 1 bicone, and 1 of our blue beads, plus 1 more 11-0. Push it down, and then you're going to skip the bottom 11-0 and go all the way up and all the way into that blue bead. Okay, so we have now finished our earring. Our fringe is looking good, and that is all there is to the design. Now what I like to do here is I like to sew around and tie my 2 ends together, and then I can just sew the 2 ends in and cut them off. Okay, so I will do that and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I just cut my thread and I have finished my 2 earrings, and I love that they hang really straight. They're not too big, they're not too heavy, and I love the little dangles, and I love the colors on these. So I hope you guys, if you have the box, I hope you try them, and if you don't have the box, you know, that's okay, but I would definitely suggest trying these cushions, these 12mm cushions, because they are so beautiful. And with the blues and the greens, I love how these came out. Anyway, so if you make these, let me know, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye.